Computer boot sequence initiated. Accessing library computer data. NCC 10535. Starship Tempest.
An old Constitution-class starship, the same as the one from Kirk's original 5-year mission, hangs in front of a gas giant planet. Blue bolts of energy crawl over the ship's hull. And inside engineering, the crew struggles to regain control of the prototype weapon installed in the center of the room. But despite their efforts, the machine continues to hum and glow itself, building to a terrible crescendo. The ship shakes, and sparks fly, and with the bridge coming down around him, the captain gives the order to abandon ship. On the Hamilton's hull, panels pop off and escape pods launch to safety. The blue bolts of energy spark faster and faster, until the entire ship is covered in a singular, intense blue glow. And then it's gone.
Space. The final frontier. These are the missions of the Starship Tempest. Set between Captains Kirk and Picard, 5 friends stumble their way through their first role-playing game as the crew of this Federation starship, exploring strange new worlds, keeping peace in the galaxy, defending their keyboards from kids and cats, and going clumsily, if not boldly, where no one has gone before. Captain's Log, Stardate 16182.8. We have been redirected to the Federation colony on Carina 7, where the colony's governor is reporting a series of strange phenomenon that threaten the colony's safety. Children are aging rapidly, native flora and fauna are growing at fantastic rates and withering just as fast, and structures that should have lasted decades are falling apart. If we can't find the source of this phenomenon and somehow nullify it, thousands of colonists will be forced to leave their home.
Alright, so this episode is called Entropy's Demise.
Only.
Yeah. You receive an urgent transmission from Starfleet Command. So you're all hanging out on the bridge, doing your typical Starfleet stuff. And then you get an urgent command from...
Why is the doctor on the bridge? Is somebody hurt?
There are dozens of people in dire need of medical attention, so the doctor is anywhere but sick bay at the moment.
Okay, great.
Starfleet Admiral comes on and tells you there are some weird temporal anomalies occurring on the colony world of Carina 7, which is nearby. The colony's governor, Sarita Sebastian, is reporting a series of strange phenomenons where children are prematurely aging, native flora and fauna are growing rapidly and just as rapidly withering and decaying.
Slow down there, buckaroo. What planet?
Carina 7, which is a Federation colony world that's about 20 years old.
Okay. Because Admiral, we can say that we're doing this in the actual scene where I'm going, whoa there. Let's talk a little bit slower there, Admiral. And then I shoot him finger guns.
Shoot him finger guns.
I get very poor progress reports every year.
Nobody's quite sure how you managed to achieve any kind of position of authority or responsibility within Starfleet.
It's because he's buddies with an admiral.
When you say that to me, I shoot finger guns at you. Okay.
You mean finger phasers, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, pick up, chop. We got stuff to do.
All right. So, this is a... Whoa. Okay.
Logan is shitting right now.
I'm glad it took us 32 minutes to set up the game.
And then
Admiral, we are going to need to put you on hold there, Admiral. We're dealing with
We're just gonna need...
we'll just call it a medical situation.
We've got the acting ensign here having a bit of a medical situation. Logan, you alright?
We put up a little, like, Indian head test pattern screen for the Admiral to see while we're dealing with this.
Yeah, we're doing the Sigourney Weaver from Galaxy Quest, you know.
Right.
You can mute your Skype, and then it'll still be recording.
I told you to cut the mic.
Let me help you.
No, you were telling me we're dead. I was agreeing with you, like I know where the hold button is.
Did it leak?
Okay. He's at least
Sure.
he's at least locally contained.
Should we proceed, or what do you want to do?
Do you want to proceed, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna have
yeah.
to change his diaper in a second. But
Okay.
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 All right.
We turn back on the comm system. I shoot the Admiral the finger guns of let's go.
Okay. So there's a nearby Federation colony world of Carina 7. It's about 20 years old, and lately it has been experiencing some very weird temporal anomalies. Some people have been prematurely aging, but it goes beyond that. It's a world that's focused on winemaking. It's all about viticulture. And so some of the vines have been prematurely aging and withering still, and the grapes still on the vines. And even actual physical structures have been decaying and deteriorating far faster than they should be. So Admiral Talara, she's a Vulcan admiral, she is diverting you to a colony world to investigate, figure out what's going on, and to stop these anomalies, discover their source, and stop them.
So is this happening to all citizens of the colony, or is it just seeming to affect some citizens periodically, or is this everybody's aging at the same time?
Well, let's send you to the colony world and have you find out.
Okay, well, thanks for doing some pre-work there, Admiral.
So
I shoot finger guns.
So you arrive, you beam down.
Oh wait, we don't even get to say like set course for where were we?
Oh.
Carina 7 or none of that?
Yeah, we didn't decide to go anywhere.
Okay, you guys go ahead. Go ahead, do what you're gonna do.
Captain, I recommend that we do what she wants us to do.
Your recommendation is noted.
Alright.
There's just an awkward silence.
Alright. Set course for Carina 7, maximum warp.
Okay, and then Ensign Richardo taps the consoles.
And it makes a very loud clicky sound because of his hooves.
Taps his console, and the Tempest speeds away. Okay, so you guys arrive at the colony. You beam down to the colony's capital, which is a town called Morgan's Hope. And the governor, Sarita Sebastian, greets you there. So you beam down into a small grove of cork oak trees, and there's a stone path leading towards a large home. And the governor, Sarita Sebastian, walks up to you, says, you guys have arrived quicker than I imagined. Thank you for coming so quickly. Please excuse my rudeness, but we don't have time for a tour. The situation here is only getting worse. So, she is available to answer any questions that you might like to ask.
How long ago did you contact Starfleet, ma'am?
Yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
And these, I tried to deal with this, we tried to figure out what was going on ourselves and stop it, so it's been happening for a couple weeks now, but we haven't been able to, so I finally, I wanted to deal with this myself, but ultimately I realized I couldn't, so I called in help from Starfleet, and they sent you.
Is anyone here unaffected?
Not everybody is aging, but multiple people are. Let me actually take you to the Mackleys. It's the household of one of our colonists.
What is the population of your colony, ma'am?
It's about 250,000 across the entire planet.
All bored.
There's about 5,000. Actually, there's about 10,000 here in Morgan's Hope, which is the capital.
Ma'am, what is the median income here at Morgan's Hope?
Well, the economics of the future are somewhat different, and I'm surprised you don't know that. We don't use money anymore, so this is all really just a huge waste of time, and you're endangering our lives and welfare, and you don't seem to be taking the situation very seriously.
Governor Sebastian, About how long ago did you start noticing the effects of this phenomenon?
A couple weeks now, I think is what I said, right?
Yes, that is what you said. Looks at Captain.
Was there
Trying to catch you in a lie.
Was there any other event that coincided with the start of this phenomenon?
Not that we can tell. All of the various aspects that we are assuming have some kind of underlying common cause started happening around the same time. So the premature aging of some of our colonists, as well as the vines prematurely aging and withering, and the degradation to the physical structures all seem to happen around the same time.
Is there a geographic nature to the effects? Is this happening in only certain geographic areas, or is it happening, does a whole family get affected, or just certain members of the family?
There's no geographic localization that we are aware of. It is on and off, so it happens, on some kind of periodic schedule about every, 19 hours or something like that. It's not exact, but it's regular that way.
How much do people, what is the aging effect every 19 hours? Do people age by what you would term a couple of years, or a couple of decades, or what?
Yeah, it seems to be. Well, let me introduce you to the Mackleys. And so she leads you over to their household, and there's the husband and the father, Wes, the wife, mother, Aurelia, and their son, Ephraim, who is, according to them, about 2 months old, but physically it has the development of a 2-year-old. But mentally is still very clearly a 2-month-old, and is nonverbal, has the motor coordination of a 2-month-old, but very clearly has been prematurely aged by whatever this phenomenon is. Obviously, the parents are rather in distress. Wes, introduces you to Ephraim and kind of shows you his condition. He hasn't started speaking yet, and he's unable to walk, but he can kind of crawl a little bit.
I asked the governor if she's ever seen the old Earth movie Jack, and if this is a lot like Jack.
Sounds like.
So, let's see. Dr. Teal, go ahead and do a reason medical task with a difficulty of 1 for me.
And what is this accomplishing?
So this is like a you're basically scanning the kid, checking him out.
While this is happening, I'm describing the complete plot of the movie Jack to Governor Serena.
She rolled a success.
Good job.
And you succeeded. So basically your scans tell you that there is no underlying genetic disorders, right? So as Commander Goodspeed would undoubtedly have explained just now, Jack is a movie about a human with a disease called progeria, which is premature aging. Right, Commander Goodspeed?
That is correct.
Yeah.
It is not the movie Jack Reacher, which first came up in my databanks, but no, it is the movie Jack.
Right. So there's a human disease called progeria, which is premature aging, which is what happens in the movie Jack. But that is not what Ephraim here has. Progeria is also a genetic disorder that would have been screened out as part of a Federation citizen's normal kind of prenatal care. So
okay, so this is not Jack disease.
It is definitively not Jack's disease.
Okay, which is good because it only got a 19% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so I'm glad to hear that from a medical standpoint.
Agreed.
Which 90 or 19?
19.
Really?
Which I feel is unfair because I like that movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Todd McCarthy of Variety called it tedious, uneventful fantasy.
I'm sure the governor was really glad to hear it.
Okay, and since you also succeeded well enough, I'll also tell you this. Ephraim's condition, if nothing changes, will likely persist at its current rate, and so approximately for every month that passes, Ephraim's body will age a year. So that means Ephraim will die of old age in less than 100 months.
Is the aging of a year per month, is that a common rate of aging around here?
So I'm going to go ahead and have Dr. Teal do another roll here.
She just left to go change the baby.
I'm just rolling for terror, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, woof.
Oof, critical fail.
Never mind. Okay. Let's see. Would you like a complication now or a threat later?
Complication now.
Okay. So you tried to scan some of the other colonists to get a little bit of an overview of whether this is affecting everybody else, and it definitely is. But you can't get a kind of reading on the rate as everybody. So everybody definitely has premature aging, but you can't nail down the actual rate the way you are with Ephron.
Can I ask? Can I ask Wes?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in his family affected?
Well, so you can, by scanning Wes and Aurelia, you can tell that they've also suffered premature aging, but in full-grown adults, it's not as dramatic, right? Obviously, because you're already matured and the development isn't as dramatic. So you can tell that there's some aging, but you can't get a pin down on the actual rate the way you can with Ephron. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, go ahead.
Would Ephron slow down as he got older?
No, he's...
I think he was just meaning it's tough to tell the difference between a 2-month, or it's easy to tell the difference between a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old versus someone who's 33 and 35.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
I think that's what he was meaning.
That's very kind of you to say.
Okay.
I mean, well, not you, but...
Oh.
Yeah, we haven't wanted to say anything, but we've really noticed a deterioration in your physical. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask the governess. Do you have a clear record of every instance of the aging? Have you been tracking it at all?
No, there's. We're talking about literally every colonist on the planet. At least we're assuming. So every colonist we have, we're noticing some, but we haven't done a full, bioscan of every person on the planet. We just don't have the resources to do that.
Right, but do you have it written down where it's showing up, or you're saying it really isn't localized in any way?
It's not localized in any way. As near as we can tell, it's everybody on the planet.
Okay, so it's everybody on the planet.
But it's not that way with the buildings?
The buildings are affected, everybody on the planet's affected, and
Plant life is
life's affected. So clearly it's either environmental or something that's affecting the entire planet.
What about birds and
External
fish? Different fauna around, are they affected?
Interesting question. Go ahead and do a science and reason.
Oh, wait. We said we were going to get a complication.
Yeah, I kind of gave that to you. In terms of what you weren't able to figure out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and do a science plus reason, difficulty 2. Whoever wants to do that.
I can do that, and let's see, that's difficulty 2. Boof.
Success.
Oh.
There you go. So yeah, so the plant life and the flora and the fauna are also experiencing this effect. At least, obviously, you can't scan everything. And we'll take this opportunity to lead you guys into the vineyards. The Governor Sebastian leads you into the vineyards of a non-human called Saira, and she's the daughter of one of the earliest families that settled on Carina 7.
I can see her speech patterns.
Yeah, and she speaks in a very strange, screechy language that the universal translator can't handle.
Are any non-humans affected?
Yeah, so she's affected as well, at least based on her physiology. Again, you can't tell specifically because she's a full-grown adult, but she is definitely prematurely aged to some degree.
Okay.
And so you go to to her vineyards, and you go out into her vines, her rows of grapes, and you do your reason plus science task with a difficulty of 2. And so there's your scans tell you that there's nothing inherently wrong with the grapes or the vines. Whatever is happening is not some kind of biological component within them. There's no herbicide or parasite or any kind of disease present that would explain, what is causing this to happen to these grapes.
So you're saying the food source is not tainted?
Yes, there's no biological components inherent to this.
Okay.
And to the environment that is happening, that is causing this weird anomaly.
Okay.
So nothing airborne?
Correct. Sahira wants to be a good host, so she invites you into her home and pours you some wine from her vineyard. and you guys taste it and taste it,
I-
and you immediately spit it out because it is terribly sour.
I
Yeah.
respectfully decline drinking it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as the doctor, I would suggest we don't eat or drink anything on the plane.
Okay, does anybody... Okay, fair enough, I suppose I should ask. Does anybody actually want to take a drink?
No, I'm okay.
I'll be cordial and diplomatic, and I'll take a sip.
Okay.
Oh, great!
So you take
the
a sip.
captain will go down. That sounds great. As the second officer, you sure.
First officer, it's your job to protect the captain.
Well,
I'm not very good at my job.
Okay.
it's an ancient naval tradition that the captain always goes down with the vineyard. So
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. All right, drink up, drunko.
Okay, so you take a deep, big, you bottoms up the whole thing in one giant gulp.
Whoa! I said I was going to be diplomatic, not a frat boy.
You take a very cordial sip, and you discover that the wine is very sour. That it has gone bad. It's been exposed to oxygen, and spoiled and turned, and is no longer very good. So go ahead, somebody do a reason and science task. The difficulty is 0.
Okay. So I got a 1 and a 1.
2 successes.
Okay, so your scan tells you that there's nothing inherently wrong with the wine itself. There's no chemical, there's nothing abnormally chemical wrong with the wine itself. It's just old, and has done what regular wine would do if it was old.
Captain, I have a recommendation if you'd like to hear it.
Go ahead, Commander.
I'd recommend we beam a couple of the citizens up to the ship. We can do it to the holodeck and recreate something that won't freak them out. I don't know how modern they are. Are these people modern people? Have they seen the inside of Starship?
Well, first of all, remember your ship doesn't have a holodeck.
Okay, there's your first problem.
These are otherwise completely modern Federation citizens. They're colonists. They know the galaxy exists and all that.
So, Captain and Dr. Teal, with your concurrence, we could beam a couple of folks up to the ship and keep them in containment, some sort of a quarantine facility on board the ship, maybe in the med bay, wherever, and maybe check in with them. If this thing happens every 19 hours, it would be good to take a few people who it has happened to and see if it happens when we get them off the planet.
Yeah, I would agree with that plan.
So you're saying take them off the planet to see if that has an effect?
I'm just trying to squash variables here, Captain.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Anybody in particular? I mean, you've only really met the Mackleys.
Well, I can't.
About it.
You can't abduct the first people you see. But
I mean,
It's Starfleet 101.
I'm sure if you called them up on their communicator frequency and you're like, hey, we want to remove your child from this life-threatening situation for the time being,
yeah,
they would probably.
we would take them all as a family. Like, we're not trying to rip the kid away.
Yeah.
Right.
We should probably also take some biological samples, like
Sure.
Okay.
some vines and whatnot.
Let's sample it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna. You guys can just do that. I'm not gonna make you do anything special to do that.
When is the next 19-hour cycle hitting, by the way?
Good question. Not for a while yet. You have
3, 2, 1.
You have several
After the commercial break.
several hours before it hits.
Wait, is everybody on the same schedule?
It's not that easy to tell.
Okay.
It's not like, and 13 minutes after the hour, everybody suddenly ages.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, you send some samples back up to the ship. Are you sending the Mackley family or somebody else?
If
up
they're
to the ship
game,
just
if
to
they're game,
establish?
let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So you send the Mackley family up to the ship, and they're hanging out in the ship's sick bay for the time being.
Okay, and I want to be clear that we've like cordoned off that part of sick bay so that if this is something exposed in the environment, that it won't infect the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They are in a special quarantine section of sick bay.
Okay.
And being tended to the rest of Dr. Teal's medical staff. Okay, so in the meantime, the governor leads you to some collapsed structures to kind of introduce you to the third piece of this puzzle. And it's a warehouse that she says was built within the last year. It has the outer shell of the warehouse kind of has a faux wood veneer, but underneath is a metal structure that is built of the same material as starships themselves. So the hull of your starship is the same basic material as this warehouse. Let's see. Somebody do a reason plus engineering task with the difficulty of 1.
Well, that's not me.
I'll do it.
Okay.
You said reason and engineering?
Correct.
Success.
And so you scan the warehouse, and even though the governor is adamant that it was built and constructed within the last year, your readings tell you that this structure is over 100 years old, and that it has collapsed through simple neglect and metal fatigue and aging. There's also empty wine barrels within the warehouse itself, and those are also similarly aged. Like the banding, the metal banding on it has been rusted. The wood has partially petrified.
But how old are these things in reality?
Less than a year.
And how long has the colony been on Carina 7?
About 20 years. So the warehouse itself is about a year. The barrels inside are a few years old.
And everybody's aging every 19 hours.
Don't get too hung up on the 19 hours. They're just aging periodically. They're aging prematurely.
Okay.
As you guys are kind of standing around, doing nothing, really just at a complete loss, and really just a credit to Starfleet. Well, one of colonists comes up, a guy named Zane Knoll, and he's an older guy, and he is incensed. He, like, even as he's still multiple yards, from across the field, he's sort of like yelling and trying to wave down your intention and ranting about something as he's crossing the distance to come at you.
I draw my phaser.
Because we stole the Mac.
Yeah.
No, it's not because you stole the Macleys.
I also draw my phaser.
No, this guy's a colonist, so
I draw my
I do what I do.
phaser.
All right.
Stand down, everybody.
I look at Goodspeed and Holden, and on my face is a look of, dudes, come on.
Okay, so
I put my phaser back.
as he gets closer, you can start to
I keep mine out.
start to make out what he's actually saying, and you kind of glance over to Sarita next to you, and she's sort of like, kind of got this
He
mortified.
means by don't let them touch you.
She has this sort of mortified expression on her face, like, oh boy, here we go. And as Zane gets closer, you can start to understand what he's saying. And he's basically ranting about the Romulans that are sneaking around on his property. The Romulans that have been sneaking around his vines and messing with his grapes. And, you've got to do something about them.
Always the Romulans.
Yeah. And Sarita's sort of like, is kind of apologetic and dismissive. She starts to try to make excuses for him, saying like, well, it's probably one of the Vulcan colonists, and it's probably a misunderstanding, blah, blah, blah. But he comes up, and he finally finishes crossing the distance, and he is very adamant that he has seen Romulan agents sneaking around his vineyards. And what would you guys like to do?
I'd like to investigate his claims.
Okay. Would you like to, Dr. Teal, you are Beta Z, would you like to sense whether or not he's telling the truth?
Or whether he believes he's telling the truth?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So go ahead and do an insight and presence, I believe?
Insight and...
Or, sorry, no, insight and commands, sorry. There you go.
Boom.
You got it. So yes, he 100% believes what he is saying.
Okay.
So,
I would like to. I want to contact the ship, the Tempest, and have them go over Federation records to see if there's anything like historically recorded in terms of time moving faster and Romulans.
Also, I'd like them to do a temporal scan of the area as well as a scan for any vessels.
okay. So let's see. Why don't we give that to Eel Notice, one of our NPCs on the ship, Lieutenant Eel. We are going to give him an engineering and control task of 1, and this is the ship scanning the area.
Yeah, I want to roll.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead and roll for Eel and the ship.
Oh, you said I'm rolling for the ship?
Well, you're rolling for Eel and the ship.
Okay.
Eel succeeds. Nice, the Tempest succeeds.
Okay. So, yeah, the ship reports that there are tachyon particles emanating from nearby Carina 10, which is a gas giant a little further out in the solar system. And as you guys would all know, tachyon particles show up and anything related to both cloaking devices and temporal phenomenon. So anytime there's any kind of time travel or any other kind of temporal phenomenon, tachyon particles are usually there in some capacity, and also cloaking devices. And that is...
Could they cause aging?
Is there any way to focus these scans to determine if these tachyon emissions are naturally occurring?
Yeah, so now I'll go ahead and... Actually, if you want to spend a momentum, I'll give you that piece of information.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, so these tachyon particles are artificial of some nature. They are not naturally occurring.
Can tachyon particles cause the aging like this?
Yes, they can.
The fuck?
Don't you remember Timescape?
Timescape, Star Trek, Time Cop, Back to the Future.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so, but don't forget that you have the colonist Zaynol in front of you, still very upset and still ranting about the Romulans in front of him. And he definitely believes that what he's saying is 100% true.
I mean, at this point, we have to at least, like, have some semblance that he's telling that he's correct.
Yeah, so he actually tells you that, like, listen, I can show you evidence, I can show you, tracks of them messing around in my fields. I can show you physical evidence if you come with me.
I put my phaser away and I'm like, dude, we already were going with you.
Okay,
So,
all right. So
we're
he
waiting
leads
on you right now.
He leads you back to the part of his yard, part of his field. Let's see. And you do indeed see a whole bunch of tracks leading.
Is it a yard or a field?
It's a field.
Okay.
It's rows and rows. It's a vineyard, so it's rows and rows
Okay.
of grape plants, just like you would see at Chateau Picard.
He's not saying that Romulans are like digging up his garden.
Well, no, actually, yeah, not his garden, but digging up around his vineyard.
I see.
And you can actually see, some entity or something has taken samples like you guys did from his grape plants. Let's see.
Do the Romulans have cloaking capability?
Yes, they do.
So,
I think she meant in this era.
Yes.
They've
So
been
just
there
to give a real quick recap. So remember, the year is 2339, so it's about 25 years before the start of TNG. And the Romulans have been in total isolation. There's been no official contact between the Romulans and the Federation for about 30 years. So there's no Romulan like ambassador or embassy. There's been no kind of contact between Romulans and Federations for about 30 years.
But we are aware that cloaking technology exists.
Yes, but they definitely have cloaking technology at this point.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Several grapevines have been cut. One plant has been uprooted completely, and the ground nearby has a small hole in it. The hole is about a meter deep and a quarter, 0.25 meters in diameter. So somebody go ahead and do a Reason plus Engineering task difficulty 2.
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I did it.
Success.
Okay. And you get that piece of momentum back. And so this tells you that the hole is the result specifically of a device designed to take soil samples. So somebody was very specifically and deliberately taking a soil sample from this dude's vineyard. Now, if you guys do see a whole bunch of tracks leading both to where the samples were being taken and away from them again.
Did the governor come with us?
Yeah, she's with you.
Do you know of anybody who would be trying to take these soil samples?
And she says no, there's nobody that would be doing that. At least none of the colonists.
Okay. But you never followed up on his claims to this point?
And she kind of looks sheepishly at you and go, no, we kind of had some other things, we were worried about,
Okay.
I was worried about this. I was trying to deal with this whole aging thing. And, she doesn't say it because he's standing right there, but you can tell that what she's not saying is that, this guy's a crazy fucking coot, and no, of course not.
Alright.
Let's see. What comes
Apparently
next?
not, though.
So,
Apparently not.
somebody do a reason and security task with a difficulty of 1.
Let me...
Do it. So that succeeds.
Boom goes the dynamite.
So you see all the scuff marks that are around this area, but you also can tell that they're very clearly leading in a path away from the fields. This is obviously where whoever took the sample went away from, and it leads Well, first, let me ask, do you guys want to follow? I'm assuming you do, but do you want to follow the tracks?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we should follow the tracks.
What a good idea.
Okay, so you follow the tracks. And you follow them to a cliff face 1 or 2 kilometers away. And the tracks lead into a sheer cliff face wall and then disappear. So it's almost like whoever this person or these people were, they walked directly into the cliff face and disappeared.
Well, they're ghosts. That's it.
The end.
Now
It's magic.
I
It has to be
scan.
magic.
I pull out my tricorder and I scan the cliff face.
Okay. Yeah. Do a reason plus engineering task. Difficulty 1.
Okay. Success.
Yep. And so you can tell that what appears to be the cliff face in front of you is actually a
Cliff face.
projection. It's a cloaked entrance, and then behind it is the entrance to a Romulan outpost that you.
I draw my phaser again.
Enter.
So how did we gain all that information from one scan? Not that I'm saying I don't believe in Goodspeed's abilities.
Oh, I got a little sonar thingamabobber on here. This is a straightforward case of a reverse Wile E. Coyote.
So it is actually because as you guys enter the exterior, I'll kind of give you the flavor that will tell you why. You scan the interior of the outpost, and it's very clear that they were pulling a very quick retreat from this outpost, and so the cloaking field was still up, but by and large they were bugging out of this place and not caring about how obvious what they were leaving behind was.
So can we walk into it?
Yeah, so you guys can walk into it now, and you are now in the main.
Before we do that, I almost hit the card. Maddox to Tempest, go to a standing yellow alert and scan for all ships in the area.
Okay. So they detect no ships immediately, but they go to yellow alert, which does mean their shields are up, which means you can't beam up unless they lower their shields, just as a point of note.
Does yellow alert automatically start or put up shields? I thought that was only red.
No, that only energizes defense fields, Brian.
Okay, well, let's decide right now. Does energizing defense fields interfere with transporters?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
It just marginally protects critical areas of the ship, like engineering and the bridge.
I love you.
Okay, I'll give it to
Haven't
you.
you ever seen Wrath of Khan?
Couple times. All right. So as you step in, you peer into a dimly lit room. Overhead lights flicker, and the smell of burning plastic and ozone permeate the room. From just a single glance, you realize that this was an observation post the Romulans hastily converted into a large laboratory. But the place is almost entirely wrecked. It's unlikely that anything will be salvageable.
Can we just hang up?
I would like to salvage
as a
something.
Point of clarity.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's been 30 years. How do we know it's Romulan? Is there a sign saying we are Romulans?
You still know what the Romulan Imperial logo looks like, the bird with the 2 wings and the 2 planets.
So they actually do have signs saying...
Well, they have the Romulan emblem logo on the wall still, yes.
Plus, they put a lot of framed selfies everywhere.
It still has a very noticeably Romulan motif to it.
Romulan Health and Safety Day 2221.
Okay, so the place is totally wrecked. There are computer banks and consoles that have been shot up with disruptors. Smoke is pouring out of them. One console is still on fire a little bit. There's smashed computer pads and other equipments laying around.
So they just left.
Yeah.
I would like to see if I can retrieve anything from the consoles.
Okay, so there is nothing salvageable in this main room. However, there are other rooms as well. There's a door to your east, and beyond that is a long hallway, and there are 6 doors along the opposite wall, with a seventh door at the far end of the hall. If you want to try to work one of the consoles, you can do a reason plus engineering task with a difficulty of 2.
I think I want to try and do that, but first I want to clear the area to make sure there are no Romulans left. For security purposes.
Yeah, I recommend we all draw our phasers.
I mean, mine's been out. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I now pull mine out and I shoot a come on look to Maddox.
And I draw my phaser and do a barrel roll into the corner.
Okay.
And I roll my eyes and draw my phaser too.
So, all right. So I'm gonna say I lead us through each of the rooms, just to verify that there's nobody else there still.
Okay. Do any of you guys speak or read any Romulan? Any of your characters?
No, we have a universal translator.
I do not.
I do not.
Okay.
So my backstory, I probably should know some. I haven't specifically noted it, like, as a character trait in some way.
So yeah, this is something
But-
you could decide right now if you feel it makes sense. You can pull it out if you want. I think I think it would make some amount of sense for you to know at least the basics, right? Like how to count to 10 in Romulan in a couple of terms, right? So
yeah, I think that
okay.
works.
So yeah, I'll give it to you in the sense that all of the doors are labeled, or are numbered rather, starting with 1 and ending in 6. But the 7th door has a name on it, and you can read that it's Subcommander something.
All right.
Sumalak.
Tomalak. Oh, Tomalak is still, I think, a lieutenant at this point.
I said Sumalak.
Sumalak, okay.
What about Turok?
Is that Similac?
No, he said something, so Sumalak. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said Similac, like the baby formula, which would have been funny to work in for no reason.
We got time.
Commander Infamil will be here.
Okay,
All right.
so...
Do I run into any Romulans?
Yeah, you proceed into each of the 6 rooms that are all barracks for various science officers and Ulans. There are no Romulans still in in any of these rooms. Each of them have 4 bunks. And underneath the mattress of each is like a storage compartment, and all of the personal effects are still there. So like you guys were joking around earlier, but there are in fact, pictures of Romulan families and things still here, which...
Who said I was joking?
Which tells you that if they left that kind of thing behind, that they must have left in a real hurry.
We should also take all of this.
Yeah, it's up to you guys.
Yeah. We haven't seen the Romulans in 30 years. This is valuable intel.
No, absolutely. We take as much as we can.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, their pants technology has vastly advanced beyond the last time we've seen them. Sir, they've acquired a button fly.
Picture cloaking pants.
Go ahead and
Yes.
do an insight and command task for me. Difficulty 1.
Okay.
If you have the hands to do it.
Now. He's asleep.
Woohoo.
Oh, good. Okay.
Success.
All right. So you definitely
No
do
pooping, though.
sense the presence of other beings somewhere nearby. So you guys are not alone in this outpost. Obviously,
In that last room.
you've walked through the 6 barracks rooms,
Yeah.
and they have all been empty. And so there's the 7th room at the end of the hall.
Someone's in there.
Yep.
Lieutenant Similac.
Yeah. So you guys have scanned through the 6 barracks rooms that are all empty except for the personal effects and stuff. There's nothing useful there. And then there's the 7th room at the end of the hall that says Subcommander somebody.
All right. We're going in.
Yeah.
Or I'm going in.
Well, hold on. I'm using my character assessment focus to determine that guy is hiding.
Is this about team building?
No, he's hiding.
Okay.
There, now we can go.
Oh, okay.
What do
Holden, after you.
so what are we gonna say to the guy when we see him? Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Do we have
say
a-
that
do
I
we have
have.
a do we have a universal translator?
I mean, I know a little bit of
Yes.
Romulan, so
Okay.
I'm gonna.
All right.
So I'm just gonna tell him to freeze.
All right.
Let's just open the door and push Holden in there.
And then close it
the
again.
door.
Yeah.
What asshole. But I'll take care of myself.
Well, you speak, Romulan. Here you go.
And then when we stop hearing pounding and slamming of doors and crashing of glass, we'll quietly stop.
Let me out. Let me out. Let me in. Let me in.
All right. So I go in.
Okay.
What do I see?
So you step into the administrative offices of this subcommander, and there is nobody. You see a dark corridor with flickering overhead lights. Red lights glow from beneath the metal grates on the floor. Directly ahead of you is an open door with smoke billowing out. To your left is another door. This one is closed. The corridor turns to the right, where you see 2 more doors. Each door is closed and has Romulan writing on it. So you basically have stepped into the administrative portion of the outpost, and this is the office. And there are further rooms beyond that office.
Why don't we split up and each look in a room?
First, take a business card.
Yeah.
So let's see. Everything is smoldering and smoky and kind of wrecked. There's a big scorch mark in the middle of the room. Basically, you can surmise that somebody overloaded a disruptor pistol here as a bomb and to wreck everything. Somebody do a reason plus security task, difficulty 1.
That'll be me.
Okay.
Success. Good job.
Okay. So you guys do a search, but you find nothing that is still, intact enough to be valuable. So there's another room, and this also says sub-commander and somebody's name, but it's a different name.
And Teal still senses someone's presence. So
Yep.
is there any way that we can use that to sort of hone in on the general location?
No, not you. Yeah, she can't dial it in enough to know which
Okay.
specific room they're in. But this is the next dude's office, but this door is locked. So if you guys want to open it, do a reason plus engineering with a difficulty of 2.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
I'm gonna do that. And
Okay.
so we have 6 momentum still, yeah?
Correct.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use the momentum on there.
Okay.
So that is just an extra die, yeah?
Yeah, 1 extra die.
Success.
Okay, and you get it right back.
Nice.
Okay, so you managed to open it,
Kablam.
and this is the office of the lead
And I get
scientist.
the momentum back, yes?
Yeah.
All right.
This is the office for the lead scientist. And do a reason plus security with a difficulty of 1 if you want to search the room.
Another success.
All right, there you go. So every
Travis, you are on fire today.
I
yeah,
know.
you are.
Not literally.
So this room is similarly kind of burned and cleaned out and destroyed. However, you do look behind one console, and there is a pad that fell behind and is between the console and the wall that escaped destruction. And so you check it out, and it has some information on it that I will pull up here in a second. So basically, these Romulans had this outpost set up that they turned into a research station once the temporal anomaly started affecting this colony. And they were investigating it as well, so that is where that one colonist...
Zane Noel.
Yeah, Zane Noel, those were Romulans, and they were taking samples from his vineyard. They were investigating the tachyon and temporal nature of it. They also localized the source of the tachyons to that source around the gas giant further out in the solar system. And they also determined that it was artificial and not naturally occurring. So all of that's basically all of the stuff that you guys have found out. The Romulans were doing their research as well and independently confirmed it.
So wait, somebody in one solar system over has got a beam of tachyon particles. They're just shooting at this planet.
Yeah, not one solar system over, 3 planets over, same solar system.
Oh, okay.
So this is Carina 7, I think. Yeah,
Carina 10.
Carina 7, and then the gas giants where the particles are where the tachyons are coming from is Carina 10.
Okay.
All in the Carina solar system. Okay, and
But it also sounds like they were investigating it, not
responsible for
they wouldn't be doing it if they caused it. Yeah.
Interesting point. Yeah. Okay.
And unless this is some sort of a laboratory experiment where the Romulans
a test.
are seeing what happens with their new ultra aging Jack Ray.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jack Ray.
Okay.
Let's
so
move
that's,
on, shall we?
yeah, that's everything in this guy's room, and then there's a couple other rooms that don't have anything in them. There's nothing salvageable. There's nobody in them.
Did we find any nudie Romulan magazines?
Weird.
Yeah, that's a little gross. I don't want to answer
Cultural
that.
Study. Okay.
I don't want to answer that.
Okay, and so there is one door remaining. Even before you open it, you can hear the humming of a power generator coming from inside. When you open the door, You see both the power supply and the cloaking device for the outpost. There are large conduits running overhead, and on the far side of the room, there are 2 Romulans attaching a device to the main fusion generator, and they are so intent on their work that neither of them looks up at you in the process.
Hey.
I train phasers on them and tell them to stop.
Okay, they look up, and they have to do a thing. So
They
give
are
me 1
startled?
second. They are startled.
Do a startle check.
They are a little perturbed and a little nonplussed. Let's see.
You said there's 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
You can tell right away that what they're doing is they're connecting a bomb to the main fusion generator. Yeah.
Okay. Can I revise what my thing is then?
No.
Okay.
You already did it. And I'm gonna do this thing, which is a reason security.
That being said, though,
Yeah.
would we have seen that before? Like, would we have been able to get that information immediately? Because that would have changed Holden's actions. If we knew exact, because I know where Holden's
We'll
going.
just say
Right.
that we didn't see the bomb until we told them to freeze, and they kind of
Yeah,
shuffled.
they turned around and we saw
Okay.
it.
Yeah, so this is all happening.
fine with that.
This is all happening like super fast, and so you're, because they didn't actually notice you guys when you came in. They were in the middle of their action, which is what I'm doing right now, and I'm actually going to spend 3 threats.
That's Brian's way of saying, shut up, I'm rolling.
Yeah, I'm going to spend 3 threats to roll, or 4 actually. I need to spend to roll 4 dice. Right.
And I'm gonna tell the
Yeah.
group, other than Brian, that did you know that Francis Ford Coppola directed Jack?
I did not know that.
Is that
Yeah,
It is true.
About the movie's reception, Francis Ford Coppola said, Jack was a movie that everyone hated and I was constantly damned and ridiculed. I find it sweet and amusing. I directed it. I should be ashamed of it, but I'm not. I don't know why everyone hated it so much. It was...
I don't either.
It's been years since I've seen it, but I remember liking it.
It was considered that I had made Apocalypse Now, and now I'm like a Martin Scorsese type of director, and here I am making this dumb Disney film with Robin Williams. But I was always happy to do any type of film.
Okay, good for Francis Ford Coppola.
Sure to note that in my log.
So the Romulans succeed in their task, which is finishing connecting the bomb to the generator. As soon as they do, they beam away. And you guys are left in this power generation room with an active bomb ticking down on you.
Oh dear.
I'm assuming I can read how long it has before it goes off.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
you can do that.
All right. So how
see-
long do we have until it goes off?
You basically have 4 rounds to disarm, and so.
Can we just run?
What
well-
kind of yield does this bomb will it have? What kind of yield will it have?
So it will take out the outpost itself, but not go further than that. So it doesn't really pose a danger to the colony, but it will definitely destroy the outpost.
Recommend we run.
Maddox to Tempest?
I want to try and disarm it.
Ugh.
I understand.
Okay, I recommend everybody but Holden
I can use
runs.
your help good speed.
Maddox to Tempest. Hello.
Go ahead.
keep a transporter lock on all of us and be ready to beam out of my signal.
Copy that. Okay.
Wait. Can we do a site?
Well,
Can we do a
reasoned, Captain.
Can we do a site-to-site transport of the bomb to the middle of space?
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
Oh,
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Okay. So it's going to be a reason plus engineering with a difficulty of 2.
I am 16 in that. So,
Yeah, I have a 14, so I'm gonna give that to Holden.
all right, and I'm gonna spend a momentum to get 3.
Okay.
No.
Oh, you got a complication though.
Critical fail.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
critical.
still It still succeeds.
Yeah, so
though.
you still succeed. So it does beam away.
Yeah.
But the because it was plugged into the fusion generator itself and just straight out beaming it out without disarming it or shutting it off, sends the fusion reactor into a feedback loop that is going to have it explode in 4 rounds if you don't do anything.
Well, great job.
Well played.
All right, so now I'm going to fix that.
Okay. So that is also going to be a reason plus engineering difficulty 2.
All right. We still have
Right,
5
so
momentum,
spend
yes.
momentum.
Because I
Correct.
spent the 1, but we got. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and spend another momentum again.
Okay. And you guys actually, you have 8, remember, because it's 2 per player. And there's 4 of you.
Oh, I thought there were 6.
Oh, no, I forgot about that.
Alright, cool. So never mind, so we
Alright,
had
there
7,
you go.
although I just got it back.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 6, you needed 2. Yeah, so you get them both back. Okay, so yeah, you deactivate it. You shut the generator down. You now have this lovely treasure trove of Romulan intelligence that you can hand off to Starfleet if you want. But yeah, so to recap, you got the weird tachyon emissions from the gas giants nearby. The Romulans also know about it, and they were also studying it. And they were kind of bugging out. They were in the process of bugging out when you guys stumbled upon them.
Thank you for listening. Tune in for part 2 of Entropy's Demise, next time on Star Trek Tempest.